What happens if you don't want to use credit cards to travel? What happens if you're not interested in flying over to Italy or island hop throughout Greece's islands or go out and relax in Jamaica? What if that's just not an interest of you? Does that mean that credit cards are not a good option or a tool for you? Absolutely not. Today, we're going to cover over some great credit cards that would give you some amazing cashback options and multipliers so that way you can fight inflation as well as you could still get back from using your credit card for your normal everyday transactions. So if you're ready, let's go. Welcome back to Tito's Financial Corner, where we talk about credit cards, points and miles, as well as travel. Today, we're going to cover credit cards that would maximize the cashback option that you would be able to get for your normal everyday transactions. As we all know, cash is still king. So we're going to go over some credit cards that I believe would offer you the max cashback for your transaction. We're going to go over a couple of rules that we're going to follow for these credit cards, just to make sure that we compare apples to apples as much as possible. First rule is that all of these credit cards would have a no annual fee, meaning we don't have to find the credits, perks, or multipliers that would offset an annual fee. The second rule is that these credit cards would either offer you actual cashback in the form of a statement credit or a deposit into your account, or it would also include points, whether that's from Chase, Capital One. As long as you're able to cash those points for cashback, we will also consider those credit cards as well. And the third rule is that you will need to have at least a good to a great credit score. So we're looking somewhere in 670s and higher. All right, before we get on to the list, there are two credit cards, two honorable mentions that I definitely want to go over just because they're not bad credit cards. However, I believe the actual list of the top 5 offers more perks or better multipliers. But nonetheless, these are great credit card options and some options that you should be aware of. Starting with the Citi Double Cash card offers you 2% back on all your transactions. Now, this is a little bit different than other credit cards. It gives you 1% when you make the transactions, and then it would give you an additional 1% back once you pay the balance down. So no, you would not receive 2% as soon as you make the transactions, but you would receive essentially 2% back as soon as you pay the balance down. You would get an intro 0% APR for the first 18 months, which is great. However, this credit card does not offer a welcome bonus, and that is one of the biggest reasons that this does not crack the top 5. As you will see, some of those credit cards, even though it doesn't have an annual fee, it still offers you some great welcome bonuses. The other honorable mention is the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. You would get 2% back on all your transactions. And unlike the Double Cash card, you would get 2% back as you make your transactions. You would get a 0% intro APR for the first 15 months. And unlike the Double Cash card, you would receive a welcome bonus on this credit card, which is $200 after spending $1,000 in the first 3 months. Now, the reason that this credit card doesn't crack the top 5 is that even though it does offer a welcome bonus, the multipliers are still falling a little bit short. As you will see, some of these no annual fee credit cards would give you a much higher percentage back on your normal everyday transactions. But again, 2% is nothing to laugh about. The first credit card on the list is the Amex Blue Cash Everyday Credit Card. You would get 3% back on groceries, 3% back on US online purchases. This would mean any goods bought through a retailer's website. However, this would not include services or bills that you would be able to get the 3% back on. You would also get 3% back on gas purchases, and you would get 1% back on all other purchases. The welcome bonus on this credit card is $250 total. You would also get a 0% intro APR for the first 15 months. This is a great credit card that would give you some amazing multipliers, again, with a no annual fee, that would allow you to utilize it for your normal everyday transactions and would be able to give you 3% back on those purchases. The next credit card on the list is the Chase Freedom Flex Card. The multipliers on this credit card is you would get 5% back on all travel purchases that you make through the Chase UR portal. You would get 3% back on all dining purchases, including takeout and delivery. You would also get 3% back on all drugstore purchases, so the CVS pharmacies and the Rite Aids of the world. And this little multiplier is one of those that I don't believe is talked quite enough as it should, just because with pharmacies, yes, you would be able to get some grocery items as well as any medications, but you would also be able to get gift cards. So meaning if you need gift cards for birthdays, holidays, or any celebrations, you would be able to get 3% back on those purchases. And while yes, there are other credit cards that would offer a higher percentage back, depending if you bought them at gas stations or Staples, you would be able to get higher rates. This is still a great multiplier back for a no annual fee credit card. It also offers 5% back on rotating quarterly categories, meaning that every quarter, Chase would select 2 to 3 different categories where you would be able to get 5% back on. Now quickly, please make sure that every quarter you go into your Chase app and activate these offers. They're not activated for you automatically. You have to manually go in and do it yourself. For the first quarter of 2023, those categories are grocery stores, excluding Walmart, Target, as well as gym memberships. The welcome bonus on this credit card is $200 back after spending $500 in the first 3 months. And also, as of this recording, for new card members, you would also get 5% back on grocery stores, excluding Walmart and Target, up to $12,000 worth of spending, or for the first 12 months, whichever comes first, which again is a great intro offer. With that said, if you're watching this video in the future, I would definitely make sure to check what the welcome bonus and offer is, just because these can change periodically. You would also get a 0% intro APR for the first 15 months that you have this credit card. This credit card is a great fit for foodies. You would be able to get 3% back whenever you dine out or order any delivery. You would also get 3% back whenever you use it at a pharmacy, as well as getting 5% back on those rotating categories, and for any of those non-categories, you would still get 1% back on all your transactions. The next credit card is the Citi Custom Cash Card. You would get 5% back on your highest spend category every month, meaning whether that's gas, groceries, streaming services, you would get 5% back as long as that specific category is the highest spend on any given month. And then you would get 1% back on all your other purchases. The welcome bonus is $200 after spending $1,500 in the first 6 months. You would also get a 0% intro APR for the first 15 months that you have this credit card. This credit card is a great fit to getting 5% back on your highest spend category. There's a lot of people that literally use this credit card for that one specific category every month. They will only use the custom cash card whenever they're at the gas pump, and that way they will guarantee themselves getting 5% back on those specific purchases every single month. The next credit card on the list is the US Bank Cash Plus card. The multipliers on this credit card is you would get 5% back on 2 categories of your choosing on up to $2,000 of spending every quarter. Now, unlike the Chase Freedom Flex card, with the US Bank Cash Plus card, you would be able to select what those categories are. You would not have to go in and see if those are categories that you use like Chase. Instead, you would be able to go through the list and manually select which 2 of those categories would best fit your needs. You would also get 2% back on everyday categories, again, of your choosing, and then you would get 1% back on all other purchases. The welcome bonus on the US Bank Cash Plus card is $200 after spending $1,000 in the first 120 days or the first 4 months. You would also get a 0% intro APR for the first 15 months that you have this credit card. This credit card is great because it offers you a great welcome bonus as well as those 5% categories of your choosing. Again, that is something amazing specifically for a no annual free credit card where you would be able to select what categories you would get 5% back. That is amazing. The last credit card is the Capital One Saver One Rewards card. I know, long title, huh? The multipliers on this credit card are 3% back on US groceries, 3% back on dining, including takeout and delivery. So again, foodie alert, 3% back on streaming services, 3% back on entertainment, and 1% back on all other transactions. The welcome bonus on this credit card is $200 back after spending $500. And it would also offer an intro 0% APR for the first 15 months that you have the credit card. This credit card would also offer no foreign transaction fees, which to me is a big deal, specifically for a no annual fee credit card. The reason that this credit card is in the top 5 is that it has those 3% categories on almost every single category that you can think of. While it doesn't offer the highest percentage rate, it does offer some broad categories that a lot of individuals will use on their normal everyday transactions. So with that said, we went over 5 great credit cards as well as 2 front runners. Now, you might be asking yourself, that's great, but Tito, which one might be a best fit for me? I think I can help you out with that a little bit. If we're looking for the best credit card that would give you the broader categories for your normal everyday transactions where you wouldn't even have to think, hey, I have to use this credit card for this or that credit card for that, then I would say you should get the Capital One Saver One Rewards card. But if you're like Tito, I want to get the max cash back that I can on my credit card transactions, then I would say you should get the US Bank Cash Plus card. That ability of choosing 2 categories that you would get 5% back, as well as 2 everyday categories that you would get 2% back, are absolutely amazing and some that you should take advantage of. But again, you should make sure that you use your credit card on those specific categories. And also, if you're looking for the most flexible credit card, and by flexible, I mean, hey, Tito, I want to get cash back, but I might want to jump into the points game here sooner or later, then I would say you should get the Chase Freedom Flex card, just because you would be able to get those 5% rotating categories as well as 3% back on dining as well as drugstore purchases. Yes, you would be able to get great cash back, but at the end of the day, it also gives you ultimate reward points, which again, you can build up to acquire the Chase trifecta, which would open the door for you to transfer your points out to Chase's transfer partners for you to maximize those points, and also if you want to do any traveling. If you're thinking about getting the Chase Freedom Flex card, then please consider using the referral link at the bottom of this video to help out this channel. If you found any information in this video useful, please consider hitting that subscribe button as well as that like button. I hope to see you in the next one. Adios.